I didn't mean to kill Oscar. Ashley, I really didn't. I really think I did that. I didn't mean to hurt him.
You think you've seen Cold? Wait until you see a teenager smile after hearing they're going to prison for life. This isn't fiction. These are real stories, real crimes, real victims, and real reactions caught on camera. From laughter in courtrooms to chilling silence after a life sentence, this is what happens when young killers hear their fate and the courtroom goes silent. Let's begin with one that shocked an entire college town. Number 1, Jackson and Thomas May, 2014. Two teens, Jackson and Thomas, planned a robbery. Their target? Nathan Potter, a college student walking home after a night out. He didn't resist. He didn't fight. He simply told them he had no money. And for that, Jackson shot him dead. But what happened in the courtroom was even more disturbing. As the verdict was read, life in prison without parole, Jackson smirked. He smiled. He looked right into the eyes of the victim's family and grinned. No tears, no apologies, just pure, chilling arrogance. The judge didn't flinch. "Your behavior," he said, "proves why this sentence is necessary." The courtroom? Stunned. Potter's family? Broken. Number 2, Danta Wright. He was 17. His victim was 18. What should have been a teenage misunderstanding turned into a cold-blooded execution. During the sentencing for the fatal shooting of Jordan Clay in Michigan, Danta Wright laughed. Yes, laughed, while the victim's parents sobbed just feet away. The judge stared him down, furious. "You think this is funny? I could tear up your plea deal right now," he warned. "You will die in prison if I choose to." Despite the warning, Danta kept grinning. He was sentenced to 25 to 52 years, but to the courtroom, it wasn't long enough. Jordan's mother described an unfillable void. His father called Wright a monster, and Danta, he just sat there, stone-faced, as if none of it mattered. Number 3, Sarah Siret. She walked into jail in handcuffs and walked out a social media icon. In 2016, Sarah Siret's mugshot hit the internet like a bomb. The world couldn't stop talking about her perfect smile, glowing skin, and piercing eyes, despite being booked for aggravated robbery. Twitter called her the jailhouse babe. Facebook called her too pretty for prison. And Sarah? She embraced the fame. But behind that viral photo was a long rap sheet: kidnapping, forgery, assault, and more. Her beauty went viral. Her crimes, buried under filters and fire emojis. She posted proudly about the attention. But the question remains, was she glamorizing crime or just surviving it? Number 4, John Freeman. This one is hard to hear. John Freeman was sentenced to 22 years to life for the murder of 5-year-old Isabella Tennant, a child he lured, bludgeoned with a rock, and buried under trash. Yes, a child. Freeman had a troubled past: psychiatric issues, substance abuse in the family, threats to kill his sister. But nothing prepared the community for what he did. At sentencing, Freeman showed no emotion, no words, no apology. The judge called it one of the most heinous acts he'd ever seen. Isabella's mother cried as she called Freeman a monster. Her aunt stood shaking, vowing her niece would never be forgotten. Number 4, Sierra Halsett and Aaron Guerrero. They were 18, dating, seemingly normal, until they decided to kill Sierra's father, stab him repeatedly, and dismember his body. Sierra Halsett and Aaron Guerrero planned it all. The crime shocked Las Vegas, not just because of its brutality, but because Sierra was once an honor student, and Aaron, a known addict with a rap sheet. In court, the pair sat side by side. Sierra smiled at the cameras. Aaron? Cold. Still. Blank. They were sentenced to life in prison without parole. Her father's mother sobbed. "They tore our family apart. The way they did it was inhuman." Neither Sierra nor Aaron flinched. Number 5, Nicholas Cruz, February 14, 2018. 17 lives lost, 17 more wounded. Nicholas Cruz, expelled from Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School, walked in with an AR-15 and opened fire. What followed was one of the deadliest school shootings in U.S. history. In court, Cruz pleaded for life, not death. He said he had nightmares, regrets, that he wanted to help others. But as the families stared back at him, many weren't buying it. One father stood and said, "I hope inmates show you the same mercy you showed my daughter." Cruz received life without parole, but the pain, that sentence will live far longer than he ever will. Number 6, Angie San Clemente, the beauty queen drug lord. She won beauty pageants in Colombia, then built an empire moving drugs from South America to Europe. Angie San Clemente, once crowned Miss Coffee, looked like a runway model, but behind the elegance was a criminal mastermind. After splitting from her cartel-running partner known as the Monster, Angie started her own trafficking ring. For 5 months, she was on the run until police tracked her down using her own Facebook selfies. Sentenced in Argentina for smuggling, Angie served half her 6-year term, but her mugshot still circulates as one of the most beautiful criminals in the world. She claimed she was framed, but the world was already sold on the story. Beauty queen turned queen pin. Number 7, Jennifer Mee. She once appeared on national television as the Hiccup Girl, but nobody predicted she'd end up in prison for murder. Jennifer Mee was diagnosed with chronic hiccups and went viral on shows like NBC's Today Show. But in 2010, her story took a dark turn. At 19, Jennifer lured a man into a robbery trap, and he ended up dead. She didn't pull the trigger, but prosecutors said she planned it, and the court agreed. In 2013, Jennifer was convicted of first-degree murder and sentenced to life without parole. The media went silent. But her fall from internet fame to a prison cell still haunts headlines. Number 8, Jennifer Fichter. She was smart, educated, attractive. But what she did stunned both America and Russia. Jennifer Fichter, an English teacher in Florida, was convicted in 2015 for having inappropriate relationships with 3 of her students, all underage boys. Her sentence? 22 years in prison. But then came the global twist. In Russia, her case sparked national outrage, not because of what she did, but because of how she looked. A petition to free her gained over 14,000 signatures, arguing that someone so beautiful shouldn't be in prison. News anchors called it excessive. Commenters said she deserved a second chance. But the U.S. justice system didn't blink. And Jennifer? She'll be behind bars until 2035. Number 9, Isabella Guzman. She walked into court, smiled like a movie villain, and left the internet stunned. In 2013, Isabella Guzman brutally murdered her mother, then calmly walked into her court appearance and made bizarre faces, eyebrow lifts, smirks, all caught on video. Years later, the footage exploded online, racking up millions of views and spawning fan pages. Diagnosed with schizophrenia, she was found not guilty by reason of insanity and committed to a mental facility. But that didn't stop the internet from treating her like a dark-sided celebrity. Some said she was misunderstood. Others called her a real-life horror story. Either way, her courtroom smirk became internet legend. Number 10, Nathan Pape. He was just 13, but what he did still haunts an entire town. Nathan Pape and his friend Antonio Barbo didn't just skip school or shoplift candy. They picked up an axe and used it on Barbo's own great-grandmother, 78-year-old Barbara Olson. They planned it like a robbery, broke into her home, but what followed was pure savagery. After killing her, they stole money and small items, then ran. But they didn't get far. When arrested, they were both charged with first-degree intentional homicide and tried as adults. Barbo received life with parole after 35 years. Nathan got life with parole after 25. In court, Olson's family sobbed through their statements. Barbo cried. Nathan sat frozen. The verdict left the courtroom silent. Because when a child commits a crime like this, Everyone loses. You just witnessed what happens when the courtroom doors close, and a life-changing sentence is read out loud. Some teens cried, some laughed, some showed nothing at all, but every one of them left behind pain, headlines, and unanswered questions. Which reaction shocked you the most? Drop their name in the comments with #CourtroomReactions. Let the debate begin. Smash that, like if justice was served. Hit subscribe if you want more real stories that shake your soul. And remember, in court, the sentence ends with a period, but the consequences, they last a lifetime.